And how's it going, everybody? It is Skullzi here with the latest and the greatest gaming news. The news I have for you today might just have something to do with the release date of The Elder Scrolls 6, or at least a more accurate window of time in which we can expect to see The Elder Scrolls 6. Now, before you get too excited, you need to put those tinfoil hats on, because all of this information comes from the Redfall trademark filing, and even though there is evidence to suggest that the Redfall trademark is related to The Elder Scrolls 6, there is nothing 100% conclusive that can either prove or deny that. In fact, the situation I'm going to be talking about today, while it is very exciting if Redfall is related to The Elder Scrolls 6, in my honest opinion, this almost seems like this information that I found today disproves that this Redfall trademark is related to The Elder Scrolls 6, only because it doesn't align with the timeline I had in mind for when we'd most likely see this game. It somewhat does, but not exactly. I expected we would see The Elder Scrolls 6 probably around 2024, which I know it seems like a forever time away and that sucks, but Starfield is Bethesda Game Studios' next major single-player RPG game that they're working on. They did say they want it to be for next gen. Next gen isn't out yet, so if next gen even comes out next year, that means we're going to see Starfield in 2020 or 2021 at the latest. They're not going to want to put The Elder Scrolls 6 out immediately after Starfield, which means there'd probably be 2 to 3 years, probably 4 years between Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6. So the information I found today is just super crazy, but as always, we're going to be breaking this down together, because I'm going to be recording my screen. That way you can see that my bullshit capacity meter is always running at 0%, and that way you can look this information up to verify it for yourself if you choose to. And we're going to start our adventure right here, and what this big list of all of this stuff is all of the active and pending patents and trademarks that ZeniMax owns, and thus Bethesda Softworks and Bethesda Game Studios. Within this gigantic list is everything from Quake to Arcane to The Elder Scrolls, and of course Redfall. And if we search for Redfall here, we can narrow the search super quick, and there are multiple trademarks for Redfall, which is a sign that ZeniMax is planning to definitely do something related to whatever this Redfall thing is. We know Redfall is a game based on the classifications within the trademark filings on each of these trademarks, but the main trademark, the mothership if you will, for this entire Redfall thing is this one right here, 88110679. And if we copy that and take that over here to the US Patent and Trademark Office database, we can look through the actual documentation for this trademark and see the most recent update to the Redfall trademark that we're going to be discussing and breaking down today. And the most interesting thing is, this update actually happened on my birthday, July 9th. Not July 9th, 2019, but July 9th in general. I wasn't born a couple weeks ago, although that would be pretty impressive. The update is as follows: an SOU is required from the applicant. And what an SOU is, if you've been following my other videos breaking down Bethesda's trademarks and hearing me break down how all of this works, you will know that an SOU is when the US Patent and Trademark Office requires whoever owns or is trying to file this trademark to prove that they have a product related to whatever it is they're trying to trademark. This prevents companies from just owning more or less names of things and then trying to sell these names to other companies. If companies could just trademark a name and not have to do a product related to that name, it would make coming up with new products, new companies trying to start up, it would make a lot of stuff difficult in the business sector. So what they do before your trademark is fully approved, they give you 6 months to prove that you have a product that is actually going on the market or is ready for the market, pretty much ready to be sold, that is directly related to the trademark in question. Now you can extend this 6-month extension 5 times, 6 months each, which gives you about a total of 3 years from the point in time that you get this statement of use notification from the US Patent and Trademark Office. So let's break this down and go into a little bit more detail. We can actually get the documentation here for this notice of allowance, and you can see right here that no opposition was filed for this published application, which there was opposition, the whole Redfall trademark dispute, but with that situation behind us and with no other parties opposing the Redfall trademark, the US Patent and Trademark Office is now asking ZeniMax to prove that they have a product ready to be sold related to the Redfall trademark. They have 6 months to do so from the time of this notice of allowance, which is July 9th, 2019. Notice here they go on to say that the applicant may file a total of 5 extension requests, and each extension is for another 6 months. So with that in mind, 6 months from now puts us at about January of 2020. And if ZeniMax uses all 5 of these extensions, that would be 2.5 years from January 2020, which would put their final date to prove that they have a product ready to be sold related to this Redfall trademark at about June of 2022. Which is crazy, because if The Elder Scrolls 6 is definitely related to this Redfall trademark, that would mean that The Elder Scrolls 6 would have to come out at some point between the middle to the end of 2022, which is just nuts, because I don't expect us to get Starfield until 2020 or 2021 at the latest, so that's saying a year or two after Starfield we're gonna get Elder Scrolls 6. If the game is indeed related to this Redfall trademark, that just doesn't make sense. Even though there is evidence to suggest that Redfall is related to the Elder Scrolls 6, which I covered in the previous video, I suggest you watch it by clicking on screen here or looking for a link down in the description below if you haven't already. But even though the evidence exists to link Redfall to the Elder Scrolls 6, this information right here seems to suggest that Redfall isn't related to the Elder Scrolls 6 based on the timeline of this SOU document here. Now, of course, like I said at the beginning of the video, Redfall was never 100% confirmed to be related to the Elder Scrolls 6, although there seemed to be more evidence suggesting that it was, rather than it wasn't. So if Redfall is related to the Elder Scrolls 6, we might see the Elder Scrolls 6 come out at the end of 2022, which I don't think is gonna happen. So I'm starting to believe that whatever this Redfall thing is, it might not be the Elder Scrolls 6. Maybe it's a different Bethesda project. I mean, we have Giant Monster News and Spy Team, which are other ZeniMax trademarks for games that we haven't heard anything about. We had Deathloop for a while until they announced it at E3 2019, so maybe Redfall is something else altogether, even though the timing is just strange because Redfall was filed right when this Redguard trademark was abandoned, and Redguard obviously is related to the Elder Scrolls. Redguard, Redfall, that seems similar. Even more coincidental is the timing when Redfall was filed right after Redguard was abandoned, and then you have the fall of the Empire after the Skyrim Civil War, which is, again, kind of a Redfall thing, or maybe the fall of the Redguard. Everything to do with this Redfall situation, everything to do with the Elder Scrolls 6, everything to do with most of future Bethesda Game Studios games is all left to speculation, and that's why it seems like every year our tinfoil hat gets heavier and heavier, with more layers that try to protect us from going insane by breaking all of this down. The long story short of this is that the US Patent and Trademark Office told ZeniMax that they have 6 months, or if ZeniMax uses their extensions, 3 years to get a product ready to be sold related to Redfall. If this Redfall trademark is the Elder Scrolls 6, that means we would see the Elder Scrolls 6 by the end of 2022, which just doesn't make sense. With that in mind, it seems we have some evidence to suggest that Redfall might not be the Elder Scrolls 6, regardless of all the other information that suggests it is. But as always, I want to know what you have to say about all of this. What do you think about this Redfall situation? It seems to keep getting more and more mysterious. I figured we wouldn't hear anything or be talking about Redfall for a while, ever since that Redfall trademark dispute finally ended, but it seems here we are again, caught in this Redfall loop. Caught in the death loop. Let me know what you think about this situation down in the comments below, and if your comment wins the internet and may get featured in a future video. Don't forget to subscribe to stay in the know when it comes to the latest and the greatest gaming news. Follow me over on Twitter for the latest channel updates and random stuff about me. Come over to the channel Discord chat server where there is always an awesome and active conversation and some speculation taking place. Come over to Loot Drop, the official Skullzi merchandise site, where you can get a Skullzi t-shirt or even a bullshit capacity meter t-shirt to let everyone know that your bullshit capacity meter is always running at 0%. And if you want to have your hand in providing future content and getting access to unique and awesome awards, then consider subscribing to the community on Patreon or joining the channel here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all of these awesome things are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time, when ZeniMax just suddenly abandons the Redfall trademark and everyone just loses their damn mind.
just works.